All right, here goes. Week 1 is in the books, boys. This is my first time doing a recap in however long. I know I cooled off last season. It's tough doing these, so you guys got to give me a lot of respect for getting these things done. It was a big week, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I had my birthday last week, so on Sunday my family planned to get together and do birthday stuff because it's also my twins' birthday and my mom's birthday on our birthday, so it's a big event. Anyways, we went to Dave & Buster's, which is great. It's an awesome place, lots of games, but I couldn't really actively watch the games as much as I would have loved to. I love to just sit back, watch every game, especially Red Zone, best thing in the world. Fortunately, I couldn't do that, so I didn't watch as much firsthand. I have watched some highlights here and there, and hopefully I can give you guys some sort of recap that is of some sort of quality. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to start off with my own matchup. Let's kick her off. I was a little bit devastated when I woke up this morning. I caught the end of the New Orleans game, and I was feeling good. I believe I was up on you, Andrew, or at least I was in good shape to be beating you because I figured Denver would get some sort of points, my Denver defense. Anyways, Andrew, you beat me 122.2 to 115.4. Let's take a little look-see at this matchup here. Now, it was one hell of a matchup, let's just say. I was so stoked when I looked. Early on Sunday, it didn't look good for me at all, but then I looked at your bench and I was like, holy freaking hell. Sammy Watkins, the Lizard King, which hopefully you looked into that post that Gavin showed. He put up 42.3 points, and I thought for sure you put him in your lineup, and you didn't, which is shocking. And I know you have your explanation as to why you didn't, but wow, that's a lot of points just sitting there. And then to still win your week, like fucking screw off. And Tom Brady sitting there too, which it's looking like with the fucking wide receiver core he now has, could be like right behind Patty Mahomes as one of the best QBs this year. Who knows? It's freaking early. Everyone's jumping on all kinds of bandwagons and excitement. We're cooling off in the Browns. We're going nuts about teams like, well, you know what's actually... never mind. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. I got to stick to the plan here. I want to get this done in like 20 minutes, which I've never done before. So, looking it over, huge freaking win for you. I'm a little bit pissed. Thank you, Denver, for putting up 0 points. That really cost me. And Kerryon Johnson had a really boring day. That was basically what hurt me. Overall, my team just did average all across the board. Delaney Walker, 20 points for my tight end, was pretty darn cool. And Alvin Kamara looked great. He had no touchdowns, though. I needed that touchdown to kind of push me over. Now on to your team. Baker Mayfield looking like a bust, but it is way too early to jump to that kind of conclusion. The Tyreek Hill injury, though, is concerning. Derrick Henry, 28.4 points for you. That's absurd. I believe he had one reception. That was like a one reception huge run. Mr. doesn't get any receptions at all. Wow. Maybe that was a good keep in the end. I was questioning it. And then Tyrell Williams was your godsend savior, putting up 19.5 points to push you over the top and get you the freaking win. Man, I'm stunned. I'm still stunned. When I woke up this morning, I was just like, really? Like, I thought I won. Anyways, great win in the first week for Total Immortal over the Super Camario Bros. On to the next matchup. We had a doozy. This one was tight. And it was Perry's first fantasy football game or week ever. And you know what? You had a great week. 122 points. You're right up there with the top dogs of the week. So looking over your matchup. Now, Shane with a very, I am extremely impressed with your bench move here. You put in Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers. Now, that's huge. You kept Aaron Rodgers as your third round pick? Like, he is huge draft capital for you. You put him on your bench, put in Dak Prescott, who put up 33 points. He was unbelievable. Now, looking on the flip side, Perry, you had some really promising looking players this week. Evan Ingram is looking like an elite tight end yet again. 23.1 points from him. And Dalvin Cook, 25 points. He could be a top 5 running back by the end of the year. Vikings look like they want to run that ball, and it's going to go through him. Michael Thomas had a pretty solid day for you on Monday. Oh my God, I'm getting lost. Tuesday day. On Monday night. And Juju Steelers looked horrible against the Patriots. On the flip side, oh, you actually had a little face-off there. Michael Thomas versus DeAndre Hopkins. You guys must have been watching that game last night pretty closely. DeAndre put up 27 points, and he looks phenomenal. That guy, although he did have a drop that was pretty surprising, but it feels like anything kind of thrown in his vicinity, he's going to catch it. Like, the guy is nuts. Other big moves for you. You have the Jets defense. They had a huge day against Buffalo. They ended up losing 17-16. That was the one that was on at the restaurant we were at. And I might have bet a little bit of money on the Jets, and they kept getting fumble recoveries, interceptions, and then they wouldn't turn them into points. It's like, come on, let's go, Jets. What is this? So Buffalo somehow pulls out a win. I work with a lot of Buffalo fans where I work. I work in Fort Erie, which is close to Buffalo, and they are just losing their minds over a crap game. Josh Allen looked horrible. So I don't know. That Bills fans. Anyways, great matchup. Perry, you did a great job. You put in, I think, I thought Russell Wilson would have a better day against the Bengals, which the Bengals almost squeaked out a win in Seattle, which is shocking. Having Deshaun Jackson on your bench, 31.4 points on your bench, definitely hurt. And overall, though, it was a great matchup. It came right down to the wire. 123.4 to 122.94. What's that? 0.46 point difference? Gee, oh, what a squeaker. What a squeaker. Great first week, though. Really exciting. I love seeing tight matchups like that. I think it's incredible considering how many different players are involved that you can have so many matchups end up so freaking tight. Look at this matchup here. We had Fingal is Einhorn versus Velvet Buzzsaws. 108.42 for Steve to 107.56. That's a 0.9 something difference. 0.8? 0.8.4? I haven't done the math. But that's freaking close. Another one. What is going on here? Anyways, looking it over, from what I saw, Austin Eckler for dad, my dad, for dad, the dad of the league, 36.4 points. Everyone was kind of questioning, Melvin Gordon sitting out. Would Austin Eckler be able to take over that kind of workhorse? People love using that word. Workhorse, it barely exists anymore because every team seems to be running 2 to 3 running backs sometimes. Anyways, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 reception touchdowns, which is very normal for him. Huge day, but you had a lot of sad players on your side. You had Dante Moncrief put up 2.2, Dion Lewis 2.8. Oh, are these guys even rosterable after 1 week? It's hard to say. Chris Godwin was disappointing. All of Tampa Bay was disappointing. Basically, what made you lose, Dad, was Tampa Bay. Jameis 10.06 points. That's not enough for a quarterback, especially when the Bucs are supposed to be some sort of aired out machine. So, unfortunate. On the flip side, there were a couple misses on Steve's side, like Corey Davis, 0 points, a big goose egg, and he was non-existent. It all went through, what was it, A.J. Brown, I think it is? And that guy looks good. Your team, Lev Bell had a good day, 20.2 points in his Jets debut. He looked solid, and they look like they're going to obviously, well, you got to use them if you have them. Patty Mahomes, 27.32. Looking over your team, though, you had a very average week. Mike Williams was disappointing. Kenny Golladay was average. D.D. Westbrook, I'm surprised he put up 11.7. Oh, it's because he has a touchdown. He had a bit of a quiet day, and he had a big, he had a lot of chemistry with Nick Foles, and Nick Foles is out. He's hurt. What, did he break his clavicle or something? He's done for however long, so it looks like they're going to Gardner Minshew, which I think he was Washington's quarterback last season. I'm just throwing that out there. I feel like he was. I might be wrong. Let's look into that. Come back to me and tell me if I'm wrong. I'm a big college football fan now. I want to be throwing college football knowledge at you guys when I have the opportunity. And then looking it over, your benches were pretty barren. You guys made adept moves by putting these guys on the bench. Kenyon Drake on the bench, good call. Miles Sanders on the bench, good call. Both sides, just good calls all around. Overall, big week for Steve. For you, Dad, I'm really hoping Melvin Gordon signs a contract or gets traded or something. It looks like it's cooling down. It's not looking good. And I hope AJ Green comes back so he can kind of help provide you some good wide receiver 1, hopefully, points. And I noticed he's on your bench. I believe you can put him on your IR if you want. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, that was another freaking tight game. Now on to the next matchup. We had Riley versus Dave. This was a bit of a lower scoring matchup. 92.14 points for Riley to 84.26 points for Dave. Overall, pretty quiet day for both of you. You guys must have been kind of bored on Sunday, because it looks like, Riley, you're scoring. Well, you had Amari Cooper, 19.6. That's really nice. And in that same game, Saquon Barkley, only 15.9. And what I saw of him, he looked really good. He is such a great running back. He's gonna get her going. That's for sure. If he gets touchdowns, it's gonna add up very, very quickly. Adam Thielen had an average day for you. Jared Goff. I listen to too much fantasy footballers. 10.44 points for this highly touted Rams offense. They didn't look phenomenal against Carolina. They definitely relied pretty heavily on Todd Gurley. Looking it over, Sony Michel only 1.4 points in a game where the Patriots just manhandled the Steelers. Like, that was there was a lot of surprising stuff. I had a lot of players that I thought would do a lot better than they did, and that's football, right? You make all these predictions, and then when it comes down to the real games, it doesn't work out how you think it's going to work out. Like, if you could predict everything, we'd all be freaking millionaires, because we just bet money and win every time. Like you, Gavin, on Sunday, apparently. Anyways, looking it over here, on Dave's side, Matt Ryan, your big keeper, he had a fine day, although Atlanta got stymied against Minnesota. Minnesota's defense looks really good. Duke Johnson, 11 points, which is fine, especially considering you picked him up off the waiver wire, so it's not like... Or no, you drafted him, actually. You drafted him, and then they ended up getting Carlos Hyde. Kind of muddied the waters a bit. A little bit unfortunate. Interesting thing, Curtis Samuel, 4.7. I wanted him in the draft because he's being praised like crazy in the fantasy world. Only 4.7 points, and it looked like DJ Moore was getting more of the targets. So, goes to show the offseason isn't everything. That's for sure. And looking it over, like Zach Ertz, 7.9 points. There were some other tight ends that did a fair bit. A lot of like underrated tight ends had big first weeks. We'll have to see if that continues. Guys like TJ Hawkinson. Who's the guy on the Ravens? I'm blanking. Mark Andrews. He had a big day. Weller last night. Like, a lot of these tight ends that you could get for cheap. It kind of goes to show sometimes you don't want to spend too much on a tight end. Anyways, great win for Riley. You know, if you face a lot of other guys, it would not have been a win. So you're a little bit lucky to be facing Dave, who kind of tossed a stinker at you this week. But exciting to say the least. And looking at your benches, the only move I would have... Well, you wouldn't even do this. Why would you do this? But Phillip Rivers put up more points than Jared Goff. And that's what... You can't predict that. On to the next matchup. This was the biggest beating. Well, only because Kyle put up so many points. This might be the most points put up all season. So, Kyle, your team put up 202.66 points to Bryce's 125.82. Very unfortunate for Bryce, because you came in last season, and you put up a score that would have beat almost any other team this week. So, that sucks, man. That's really lucky. You got to hang in there. And you're probably watching Deshaun Watson put up points last night, and it was hopeless. There's nothing you could do. It's actually pretty incredible to look at this, though. Lamar Jackson put up 33.56 points. He had 5 touchdowns, and he proved to be a pocket passer on Sunday. Deshaun Watson, is it Deshaun or Deshaun? I don't know. He put up 31, so like right there in points. Like right, you matched him in QB. The big surprises, though, so on Kyle's side, you had T.Y. Hilton put up 24.7. No one expected that with Jacoby Brissett under center. Like, I even remember when you drafted him, I was like, come on, man. Like, this guy's value. He's not even like a tier... I got them tiered, but like a tier 2 wide receiver. Like, maybe tier 3. I don't know. He's not even that good. But maybe he is. Maybe Andrew Luck was holding him back. Maybe. Let's say that. Alshon Jeffrey, 19.6. Like, a good day. Christian McCaffrey. Holy crap. Like, this guy, 37.9 points. it's insane. I remember when he came into the league, people were kind of concerned that he was too small, he'd get hurt, he couldn't be a workhorse back. This Carolina offense just 100% goes through him. Like it's very much in the NFL in this day and age where running backs, there aren't many workhorses. Guys like Christian McCaffrey do not grow on trees, and it's like they just use him in all scenarios. It's really fun to watch. Mark Ingram 22.7. That Ravens offense looked phenomenal. It's hard to say though because they played Miami, and Miami's they looked absolutely brutal. So the Ravens are really gonna have to prove themselves next week, and I believe they take on the Cardinals. So, not really a great matchup. You had all out Ravens. You had Mark Andrews as well. Holy freaking hell! And you had Josh Jacobs, who had a big night last night, just to pound Bryce to the turf. Now looking at your team, Bryce, you had another Raven. You had Hollywood Brown, which I learned about Hollywood Brown today. Thank you, Gavin. Apparently he grew up in Hollywood. That makes sense. I didn't know. I thought maybe he was some sort of secret movie star. I don't know. Marlon Mack. Now, I was looking at like the ticker of stats and stuff like this. I didn't follow the Indianapolis game. I was kind of bored to even catch that. Marlon Mack put up 25.4 points. The guy had 174 rush yards. Like, holy freaking hell. That guy's legit. Now, that might be a workhorse back. And maybe Indianapolis has an offense this season. Everyone kind of wrote them off without Andrew Luck. It goes to show, I think we all, you can't help it, but we all kind of jump to these really harsh conclusions when we find out something negative about a team. It's like, oh my God, that team, all their players are now useless. Maybe we shouldn't jump to that conclusion. And then looking at your benches, you guys made really smart moves. Both sides. Honestly, Bryce, you had a good week. It's too bad that you had to face Kyle. And that was partially my fault because I didn't get the schedule figured out. And this is a random first week. Although it was cross-conference somehow. I don't know how. Whatever. It was fun. It was a fun week, right? Come on, guys. It was a great week. All right. Let's take a look at the last matchup of the week. We had Gavin just absolutely obliterating Matt Winner. You just got absolutely crushed. 123.46 to 83.12. And it was all downhill for you, Winter. You had David Johnson, 22.7. They had a great fourth quarter rally in that Cardinals game. That was cool. I didn't get to watch it live, but when I watched the highlights, I was excited because I had Kyler Murray. Carson Wentz, 25.02. He looked promising. Another late rally. Like, these guys, it's kind of funny. You'll watch a game, you're like, man, this game's boring. There's no offense. Things can get pretty darn crazy in the fourth quarter sometimes. Like, absolutely crazy. And looking over your team, so I'm going to look at Winner's team first because your team was the one that unfortunately sucked. Your team doesn't look bad. Like, you have good names. They just didn't perform this week. Like, Brandon Cooks, not a good week. Tyler Boyd got out. Like, John Ross looked phenomenal, but I've used that word too many times. Looked fantastic. Tyler Boyd, 10.3 is fine, and I think that he will be the number one wide receiver without A.J. Green there. It's just kind of one of those weeks where John Ross is just getting the touchdowns. Marvin Jones, only 8 points, but he's going to be good. Devontae Freeman, only 2.6, but that was because Minnesota's defense was ridiculous. O.J. Howard, I heard he had a couple drops. A fumble lost. 3.2. He's going to be good, though. Don't worry. All the Tampa Bay's offense was crap. Aaron Jones. Oh, man. So, honestly, just stick with it. I wouldn't screw around too much with your team. You've got good players. It was just a week where they all decided to suck, except for David Johnson and Carson Wentz. Now, looking at Gavin's team, Josh Allen was horrible, but he still put up 17.96 points. It goes to show the value of running, quarterbacks that can run. Keenan Allen, 22.3 points. I wanted nothing to do with him, but he's a great wide receiver. I had him last year. I feel like he is so due for an injury. It's coming. It's freaking coming. I'm calling it. By week 8, he will be injured. Want to do a water bet, maybe? I don't know. Looking at your team, you just crushed. Josh Gordon looked really promising. I didn't want to take the risk on him. Now that Zeke is back for you, officially signed. He put up 12.8 points, but they're kind of limiting him because he was sitting out for so long. Chris Carson, 21.1, and I saw the highlights of that Bengals game. He looks like an absolute bruiser. That guy, I love his work, his work ethic, I guess you could say. His his motor, as they like to say. Like, he just keeps charging. He turns like little 3-yard gains into 5-yard gains kind of thing, you know? Like, just one of those guys. Kelsey had a quiet, average day, 10.3 points. Overall, Gavin, you've got a good team. You got a really good team, and James Conner wasn't even anything special. Much like Nick Chubb was nothing for me this week. Emmanuel Sanders, maybe you could have plopped him in your lineup. It doesn't matter. You won. I'm not going to pick through your lineup here. Although I did see highlights, DK Metcalf, he looked pretty good. I like the way he looked. Although, like they always say, rookie wide receivers, although a lot did well in the first week, they can be very, very risky. It's not always that they turn to rookie wide receivers. Like, coaches don't trust them, which I don't blame them. Looking at your benches, though, Winter, Adrian Peterson, maybe he'll be valuable now because Darius Geis looks like he's hurt again, and it doesn't look promising. The guy just is always hurt. Jameson Crowder, 17.3 points. Yeah, sure, you would have liked him in your lineup. It would have pushed you closer, but it wouldn't have gotten you there. And why would you start Courtland Sutton? Like, he was good, but I wouldn't have started him. You got to see what you got. Jack Doyle, you got on your bench. I'd probably just drop him. Screw that guy. Chase Med. There's some good. I could see you being pretty. You do have guys you can drop without a second thought. There's some good guys on the waiver wire, which is what I want to kind of quickly take a glance at. Not to point you guys in any directions, but I'm interested to see, with the start of a new season, it's hard to know how much fab money to use. 'Cause it's like, I don't know the actual deadline on. No, there's no deadline on waiver. As we learned, because Kyle ran out of money, Steve leveraged his money last season to beat him on all bids in the championship round. That's kind of cool. So that kind of goes to show the risk reward of spending your money too early or spending it all by the end of the season. So there is value in holding on, but then again, if you're too casual about it, or too, I guess you'd say strict, if you're too cautious with your money, you might miss out on guys. Like, for instance, I got Nick Chubb last season. He is a huge value this year because I spent just a little bit more money than someone else. Like, I don't know. It is worth it, I think, in the end, to spend your money. You're not always going to end up in a situation like Steve and Kyle, where Steve got to bully Kyle, which was pretty cool to watch. Anyway, so looking at the waiver wire, I'm looking at, I clicked on the research tab, looking at what Yahoo is saying are like the most popular pickups, I guess. So your top pickup is Carolina. Yeah, they have a great matchup against Tampa Bay, or at least that's what you'd think, because Tampa Bay looked pretty darn bad in that first week. It will be Carolina's home opener, so it makes sense. Houston, they looked pretty good against New Orleans, even though New Orleans put up a lot of points. I thought Houston was going to win that game, and they did a great job until the end, where they played a prevent defense. That last completion just looked painful. Like, it was so easy for Breeze, and it set them up for, what was it? And it was an incredibly long field goal. Not every kicker's going to make that, but still, they allowed them the shot to do it. Now on to the fun waiver wire ad. So we got my boy, although I gave up on him. I'm going to be completely honest. I gave up. I wrote off the Bengals. I was like, screw them. I don't want to deal with the torture of them. They looked weirdly good in that first week, which is stupid. John Ross looked really good, like really fast, getting open, making great catches, getting clutch touchdowns. He is the top, I guess you could say, player being picked up right now off waivers. I don't know how to say his name. McLaurin on Washington. I know about him. I just don't know how to say his name. He looked very, very good on Washington. He was kind of their top target, I believe. And he is quick. Definitely the future of the team. It's tough to know if he'll be that effective in weeks moving forward. It might have just been like a, lucky first week. Who knows? Malcolm Brown is the third waiver wire player being picked up. He is the backup behind Todd Gurley. He got some touchdowns. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, Todd Gurley is risky. He can get hurt. It might be nice to have that security, especially if you're the Todd Gurley owner. Hey, Steve. Might be good to have him. On Tennessee, you got A.J. Brown. He looked great. Chris Thompson, T.J. Hawkinson. He looked really good for Detroit as their tight end. Giovanni Bernard is getting picked up because Joe Mixon is hurt. There are a lot of guys that might be worth picking up this week, and I love that. I love when there's excitement for the waiver wire. I hate when there's no one available. It's just gross names, and you're kind of like, I won't pick anyone up. It's the first week. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of guys out there that might be worth picking up. Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed is out, I'm pretty sure. He might be worth picking up. Some quarterbacks look good, like Marcus Mariota actually looked good for the first time ever. Gardner Minshew, which I need to look into this. Is he from Washington? Will it tell me here? I don't know. Okay, I can't drag this on. I'm at 25 minutes, which isn't the worst ever, but I'm surpassing what I wanted to get to. Anyways, guys, that was a great first week. I know I didn't go into that much detail, but I think that was good, right? It's good to just kind of go over them quickly, pick out a couple players, and just maybe I'll start chirping you guys a bit more as we go here. I'm just too nice of a guy. I don't like to chirp too much. It's not up to me to chirp. It's up to you guys to chirp each other in the chat. I'm just here to reflect on what happened. You know, I'm unbiased, totally unbiased. Although I'm still mad at Gavin for getting Travis Kelce, but I'm biased. I'm unbiased. Anyways, great first week, guys. That was awesome. I really hope that this coming week I can just sit back and relax and enjoy the game on Sunday, or the games on Sunday. I didn't really like missing them. It made me feel a little bit incomplete. It should be a great week, and honestly, guys, buckle up, because this is what always happens. Week 1, crazy things happen. You start swinging one way, and then week 2 happens, and a lot of things contradict what happened in week 1, and then it makes you wonder, wait a minute, are these guys actually legit? Are these guys actually bad? And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to make you really think. And I love that. I love that about football. It's not predictable. Crazy things always happen. So, everyone, let's get ready for a big, big season. I feel like, I'm just going to end on this. I feel like the season that more teams have exciting players, if that makes sense. For instance, like Arizona, Kyler Murray, I have him on my team. Like, Arizona is suddenly exciting to me. I don't know. There's a lot of rookies that are kind of making waves. Ravens are really exciting now. I feel like fantasy-wise, I feel like the NFL has kind of built into being even more exciting fantasy-wise, because there's been a lot of dry teams in the past. Josh Allen makes Buffalo exciting. Sam Darnold, I know the Jets look bad, but they left Bell. Like, they're exciting now. Like, I don't know. I feel like the wealth is kind of being spread throughout the league, and it should make for a very, very fun year. So there it is, boys. There is week 1 recap. I did it. I freaking did it. I didn't think I would fit one in, but I did it. So there she is. Everyone, get in those waiver wire ads tonight. They will go through at some point in the morning. I think it was like 3 a.m., which when I was working afternoons and nights, I recall waiting and refreshing and actually like getting in there to wait for the fab dollars to be spent, and then if you get in there at that time, you could pick up guys for free without like the waiver wire period, which is good, but who's up at that time? Are any of you up at that time? I don't even know. Anyways, great first week, guys. I will catch you all later.